It fit with the music, okay?
What's going on
Is it
right
original today?
Nope. It's a lie. They're streaming it on the 13th and 14th. Okay, never mind.
Okay.
What's going on?
You lied to me. No, nothing. I thought there was a regional. Because they posted a link and they said, regional, streaming live. I'm like, click.
Yeah.
Nothing going on.
What
Dozier.
podcast? Regional? What podcast?
Nah. I just watched the replay tomorrow. Because that's what real men do.
Yeah?
Let's go podcast for like 8 hours straight. We'll watch the Super Bowl tomorrow. We'll be fine.
Just watch Super Bowl, no spoilers. No spoilers.
No spoilers. Come on. Just like stand like this the entire podcast. Like don't look at any close out all sorts of internet. Just like, okay, I'm gonna look at Will. I'm gonna look at Avos. We're not gonna focus on the Super Bowl. My dad's not gonna come into my room screaming about who won after the game's over.
Ignore the ESPN updates on my phone.
You're sitting there like, la 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 la. My girlfriend sitting there like hitting me like, motherfucking Super Bowl's on. I was like, yes, baby. Yes, dear. Stop hitting me. Yeah, that's a great idea.
I got my fingers in my ears over here. Like,
I can't hear you.
oh, God.
All right, competitive talk, and we're going to get this shit off the Pokemon Center, right?
Yeah, okay, let's open up. Welcome back, everybody. We're not going to talk about plushies on the second part of the Entry Hazard podcast. Let me just log into my PGL account. Why don't you remember my password anymore?
Oh, you had that happen too?
Yeah, it doesn't do it anymore. That's really annoying. Alright.
So what rating? I mean, what is how many points do you have right now, Tom?
Too many. 289, I think.
Ooh.
So pretty much all you got to do is like shit the bed at Nationals, and you're fine.
Yeah, if I get the minimum amount of points at Nationals, I have an invite. My other invite scenarios are top 16 at regionals gets me an invite, top 32 plus a Premier Challenge win, or top 16 at a midseason showdown plus a Premier Challenge win.
So I mean, basically, you've just got your invite secured already.
I'm in the don't fuck up zone, and if I don't fuck up, we're fine.
Where is it?
Yeah, I'm in the awkward 177 area. So and thanks to God to our PCs that are always elevated. So as long as I keep making top 16, I'll be at 200 pretty soon.
Oh man, look at this. Look at my championship points. 0. God, that looks good.
But you're so good though, Avos.
I know, right?
Oh wait, so both of you guys are going to be at freaking St. Louis. That's awesome.
Yeah. I'll be in St. Louis. Why can't I ever find the standings on this?
You want to go to search rankings.
Okay, that'll work. Masters Division. No leaderboard data. What? No. No. 20. Okay, I got 2015. 2016, no. Nothing. It won't show me the championship points. What the hell? It'll show me the play points. So it'll show me who's played the most tournaments. Ashton Cox is up there.
Surprise.
Raiku's been at 42. Or I guess that's not 42, but whatever. Close enough. We're going to call it 42.
He got onto a few regionals, and he's been to a lot of Premier Challenges. They have a lot of them down there in Texas.
Man. That's crazy. Who else do I know on this list?
I might be up there.
Oh, Tommy, you got 38.
What, play points?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably from most of the PCs we have around here. We do have a lot of them.
Yeah.
All right, we got to find Will. because I can't open up championship. I can't open up the championship points, so I have no. Doesn't do me any good. Chup across has 33.
Same. Premier challenges. Anybody from this northeast area is gonna have at least like
All right,
20,
hold on.
25 plus.
I gotta look at Lorcy's profile real quick because it's Lorcy, right? So we're gonna add friend. Hold on, Will. I know that you have a friend, at least a friend.
I have you. That's pretty much
Yeah.
it.
Does anybody else actually add friends on their PGL account? Like,
I have 0 friends.
oh, now I need to go add you. Okay.
I have 28 points on my thing. 28 play points.
We can't have you with no friends. Add friend. Request pending. Deny.
Oh, did you click over to TCG?
No, I'm on VG Masters. VG Masters, I can get play points, but I can't get the championship points to come up. It just won't. It won't do it. Whatever. We'll just go to PGL. We'll look at the special ladder rankings.
So I can either confirm, ignore, or block your friend request.
Block.
I'm definitely thinking about all 3.
Well, I mean, if you block it, then you're still at 0 friends. So that's all I gotta say.
Oh, I think it's down. That's why.
It may well be.
Success. Friend request accepted.
Oh, buddy. All right, Tommy, where are you at on points? You were like top 4 last night, and then I guess it updated. How bad?
What are we looking at?
We're looking at PGL ladder rankings.
Battle spot?
Yeah.
Oh, at the end of my stream last night, I went from like low 1800s, and then I started losing a bunch of games, and then I started playing with Luminion again,
Oh no.
and then we
Oh,
went.
Nostrom's in the top 50 U.S.
I think I'm at 1694 right now. I dropped 100 points last night.
Oh god. Nostrom's up in the top 50. Nice job, Nostrom. That's really impressive. Paco Taco is right above you. 2 points above you.
I got wrecked by Paco Taco the other day.
Paco Taco out there using one of the overlays that I made.
Love Paco.
I love his overlay. I'm glad that it looks good for him. When I made that overlay, I was like, man, this looks so good. And then I tried to use it for me, and it looked terrible. It was like that shirt that you never wear because you thought it was cool when you ordered it, and then you hid it away every time somebody stared at it because it had Mewtwo on the front. Anyway.
It actually describes the shirt that I bought in, like when I was in elementary school perfectly. It was like a shirt with the Sinnoh starters and a Pikachu on it. I bought it and I'm like, yo, this is so cool. It's a Pokemon shirt. And then I was like in 4th grade and I'm like, oh my god, I can't wear this. I'm in 4th grade. I can't wear a Pokemon shirt.
Hey, bought you with number 28.
I wore it all at once.
Yeah, so Dayte's still in the top 30 in the U.S. at least. I mean, Dayte was pretty high in the world. It's actually really nice to see some of the top names back up in the actual top, because I mean, Wolfie, for the last couple seasons, I almost barely saw him on the ladder, and he might have been on an alt cartridge that I didn't know, but I mean, seeing Wolfie in the top 15 U.S. is kind of cool. Mr. Penguin's almost always somewhere near the top 10 in the U.S.
But he's not even American, though. That's the funny part.
Really?
Yeah. Where's Mr. Penguin from, dude?
Somewhere in Latin America, I think.
That's funny.
Yeah, like he's really good though.
That's so funny. And then Flynn Rider. Flynn Rider, I recognize the name, but I never actually know who that is.
I played him on Showdown a bunch.
I just want to know who he is.
Flynn Rider VGC on Showdown.
Yeah, it's almost as bad as like I remember we were like trying to figure out who the hell Mega Donut was for the longest time.
Oh God! Oh, Mega Donut. That's so
Really? You
funny.
didn't
Okay,
know who
so
Zaleski was?
here's
No,
the
I knew who Selesky was because he's in my area now. He's in the
Yeah.
Philadelphia area.
okay.
And I was seeing him like I was like he's that like dude that's kind of awkward who talk like he stutters a little bit. He's a good guy by all means. Like yeah, I mean like we have a lot of those dudes in our community. Like
Yeah.
we all have our like little like quirks. I think that's why we're all in the Pokemon community. So it's like him, like you see him all the time on freaking like regional like fucking like commentating and everything. You're like
He
all right.
commentated KC Regionals last year. I actually got to meet him in person. Not that he knows who I was. But then again, I didn't know who he was at the time either.
Yeah.
But no, the funniest thing is that a Mega Donut, there was one day I was streaming last year, and it was almost a year ago to the day, and I was using the trolliest troll team that I could think of. I don't know, God, was that the Trick Room Sand team?
No, it was the Umbreon team, I think.
Okay, so I was running, that might have been when I was running Bulky Raikou. All right, so...
Oh man.
Oh, also HP Fire, or the HP Fire, HP Ice, Roserade was on his team.
Mine?
Yeah, this was that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay, that was HP Ice Roserade. So that was the Starmie Roserade team. Oh, God, now I remember. Okay, so I feel bad about it now. Because knowing who he is and not recognizing the name when I was playing him on Battle Spot, I was shit-talking him the whole time. I was just dogging on. I was like, oh my God, this guy's an idiot. What a scrub. What a noob. Why is he making these moves?
I'm on call with him just talking shit. I'm like, he's going to do this. And he does it. I'm like, told you.
So Will and I are just talking. Oh, we are just dogging on him so bad. And then it was like 2 months ago. Will and I just kind of clicked. Like, I went back through some of my old videos and started watching some of the stuff that I was doing back in VGC 15. And then I see Omega Donut. And I'm like, oh, God. Oh, God. And I start listening to it and how much I'm dogging on him. I immediately ran over to Twitter. I'm like, I'm so sorry, Mike. I didn't mean it. But he's like, yeah, I remember that battle. That's pretty funny. I'm like, oh, man, that shit was funny, though. God, what? All right, we got to look that up now. I want to remember what I was doing, because I remember the thumbnail that I made, because I had Roserade riding on the back of Umbreon. Yeah, there we go. This has to be it. I think this is it. No, nope. That wasn't it. Never mind. Will, I have no idea which one it is.
I mean, we could talk about like something actually,
Oh, found it. I found it. He was running a rain team with Mushroom Bug. That's what it was. I didn't make a thumbnail for this one. So anyway, let's actually talk about real Pokemon. Because you guys were at a tournament yesterday, right?
He was. I wasn't.
Wait, you didn't go to a PC yesterday?
There was a PC. It was all the way up in New Hampshire, and I had something in the morning that I would have like never made it back for. It's like a 4-hour ride to New Hampshire and back.
It's messed up. Will made it out to Maryland.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
How many? You guys had 7 people?
No, it was more. It turned out more than that. It was enough to make top cut. It's like what we need 9 for top.
Yeah.
We had 9, and I just it was bad. Like,
Did you play Ben Hickey?
No, I played him before.
Okay.
If I would have won my last match, I would have battled Ben Hickey, but or my second to last match, but I turned out losing to Juwan or Wu, I think his name was, and he had a Lilligant, and it's a Lilligant, dude. Lilligant is a god.
Is it though?
No, it's not. But it had a focus fashion that caught me off guard. Judging me. No, but he didn't bring it that game. It was just like Zekrom is such a weird Pokemon that I don't know how to handle yet.
I think that's kind of interesting. Zekrom, Zekrom is one of those Pokemon that you don't see a whole lot, but I think we should see more of. There were there was talk about a Zekrom Reshiram team that was using Fusion Bolt, Fusion Flare for the boost with Choice Scarf and Life Orb. I don't remember which one had the Scarf and which one had the Life Orb, but I mean, that could be a pretty deadly combo. I mean, that's like the VGC 16 double pledge.
Like the only problem with that right now, what we're looking at, is the fact that the two biggest threats to those two are the two most common restricted mons in the format, mainly being Groudon, because both of those things really, really don't like taking Precipice Blades whatsoever.
Yep.
Really.
Otherwise, yeah, I've run the calcs before for it. Like, if I don't care what it is, Fusion Bolt's dunking everything, or Fusion Flare, depending on which one it is. Both of them like just dunk everything they touch.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's like gone, gone, gone. And it's kind of like, it's frustrating, but whatever. But like I said, like the whole thing is, because I have played Ubers, like you know this, Avos, and you know I used to love running Kyron B when I was playing in OU.
Yep.
Because I thought it was fucking hilarious, because, you know, even Adamant with Ice Beam kills damn near anything that it doesn't resist. Cool. Problem I had was, I'm like, all right, I have a Grand Bull. It should have been a Landorus, but I put a Grand Bull in the slot instead.
All right, we'll talk about this Granbull. Why? Granbull. That's not even a joke. Will ran Granbull yesterday. What was your team? Let's start there.
It was Ray Ogre.
Starting good. Starting good. Ray Ogre, like it.
Feather Gengar.
Solid.
Like him.
Talonflame.
Good mon.
And then I threw Granbull in there because I didn't have a set. I didn't have a Landorus that I enjoyed at the time.
Hey, so Will.
Huh?
How much information do you think there is on Battle Spot, on PGL for Battle Spot for Granbull?
Probably just me.
There's literally none.
Oh, I didn't even use Granbull on PGL, to be honest with you. No.
There's not enough people using Granbull on the ladder right now to even warrant putting up data.
No, you need at least one person.
Again, there's not enough people using Granbull to warrant Pokemon putting up data.
See, but it has Super Fang though, right? And it's this crazy move right now. I had no reason for it. I saw such little people.
Doesn't it get like Ice Fang and Iron Head?
Ice Punch.
And
Ice Punch. It does get Ice Punch.
It's like play rough, close combat.
Yeah, like it was a good. I thought it was a good call for the day, just because I knew like when you're out of state, when you're out of our area.
Oh, Venomoth.
It becomes. It doesn't really matter. Like, you can have a little bit of fun.
All right, hold on. We got to talk about Venomoth real quick. Venomoth is amazing. So Shady MJX sent me replays the other day of him using Venomoth. And I'm pretty sure he's literally the only one on Battle Spot using Venomoth. Because right now, Venomoth has 100% moves, Skill Swap, Sludge Bomb, Protect, and Sleep Powder. Those are the only 4 moves that any Venomoth on Battle Spot uses. Its ability, 100% Shield Dust. Its nature, 100% Timid. Its held item, 100% Focus Sash. Oh, God. That's amazing. Top 10 Pokemon on the same team as this Pokemon? There's only 3 of them. The all-terrain Venomoth. Oh, man. But actually, I think this Venomoth is actually really funny. Because that Shield Dust, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing can touch you. You can't flinch. You can't be put to sleep. Nothing. Now, if you want to talk to me about, like, birds and fire moves, I'm going to run away with Venomoth. And then that poison typing kind of hurts when it comes time to, deal with Precipice Blades and things. But Venomoth is actually pretty good. The replays that Shady sent me were actually really funny because people still try and fake out the Venomoth. And if you've got two things like the Kang with Inner Focus and a Venomoth with Shield Dust, then your leadouts can't be faked out.
I'm trying to specifically remember what it was that I think Wolf was talking about Venomoth as well. And I'm trying to remember the exact stuff that Wolf was planning on, was fearing at least.
It's good. It's funny. It's tech. I won't go so far as to say that it's actually really good, but it's tech. The Sludge Bomb actually threatens a little bit on Xerneas. If I remember correctly, it probably does like 30-40%, which is okay. It might do more than that, but I don't remember off the top of my head. And then Sleep Powder, I mean, it's a good move. And then Skill Swap, you can change the weather pretty much constantly. But no, it was pretty funny to watch. I mean, Skill Swap getting rid of your Shield Dust, but once you've already dealt with the threats that are going to try and flinch it or put it to sleep, then it doesn't really matter. But I mean, Venomoth is actually really funny tech. I liked that, Shady. That was pretty funny. Unlike Grand Bull, which has no data.
And it can't KO Zekrom.
Yeah, with a stab play rough. Stab play rough. Still
Look,
can't.
I understand that it should have been a Landorus and potentially the Landorus I'm running right now.
You know what's funny? Even when people start using Gramble because it's an Intimidator and they're low level or low ladder, there's not going to be any data under Win Victorious because Gramble's not going to get any KOs.
Challenge accepted.
All right, so let's talk real quick because one thing that I'm noticing on BattleSpot at least, Smeargle used to be number 5 on the usage, and Smeargle is dropping down a little bit on usage. It's dropped from 5 to 8. One of the things that I am noticing is that Kyogre and Rayquaza used to be a little bit lower, and they're starting to raise up. One thing that we're starting to see a little bit is more usage of Kyogre, the Ray Ogre, instead of the Don Zern. Don Zern Kang has been kind of the leader since we got word of the meta, because Primal Don is really good in Ubers, and I think that Don Zern kind of have a lot of utility together. And I know we talked about this a little bit last night, but I'd like to talk about how Ray Ogre is kind of taking over Don Zern, and they're starting to balance out.
Well, no. So far, what I've seen is that Ray Ogre, it's kind of becoming more centralized, where Ray and Ogre kind of use like on separate different teams and not as consistently, and the teams weren't as consistent, but together, and people are realizing that, like you have Ray Ogre and you have an immediate out to Groudon, and that's just insane in this format. And then like that just becomes as simple as putting something on the team that deals with Xerneas a little bit better, and then I'd even say that's a positive matchup in your favor.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people are starting to realize that.
And one of the things that's really catching me off is Weavile. I'm not dealing with Weavile well, particularly because I'm really into Pokemon that are weak to ice. But one of the things that I'm starting to see pick up a little bit is... oh, God, no. No, I lost it. It's the move Snatch. There we go. I was literally going to say it's the move that snatches whatever status move you're trying to use. But yeah, Snatch. I'm starting to see a lot more people use Snatch, which is probably in this other moves of 8.8%. But I'm starting to see Weaviles with Snatch. I'm starting to see, I think, probably even Crobats. Yeah, Crobats with Snatch.
Talonflame as well.
Snatch is actually starting to be a pretty good move because you got a lot of people using like Tailwinds, a lot of people using Taunts, Quick Guards. So all 3 of those moves. So if you've got somebody that's trying to use Quick Guard, you use Snatch real quick, and it steals the Quick Guard. You try and use Tailwind, and Snatch steals the Tailwind. It's It's actually a really good move. It's a little bit techy, and so you can get burned by it, especially if somebody kind of expects you to use it. But the problem that you run into is if you've got something like a Crobat with Snatch and a Smeargle right next to it, you're trying to taunt that Smeargle to try and get it out of here. And Smeargle keeps on trucking because now they've taunted you, and now you're asleep. Dark Void.
Dark Void.
Now, this is actually the first time I've looked at Smeargle's stats on the ladder. Can you give me a guess as to what percentage of Smeargle you think are running Dark Void?
Is it 100?
It is
Close.
not, but it's close.
Yeah.
95.8% of Smeargle are running Dark Void. That's basically 100.
I still feel like the most threatening Smeargle is even the ones without Dark Void, like the Fake Out, Spiky Shield, Follow Me, and random other move like Wide Guard.
I like Wide Guard. I think Wide Guard's a really good move, particularly in this format. Because you look at like Salamence with Hyper Voice, you look at Ogre with O-Pulse or Water Spout, Groudon with Eruption or P-Blades. I mean, there's a lot of really good spread moves out there, but there's not a whole lot of Wide Guard out there. Will, why do you think there's not a whole lot of people using Wide Guard? Why do you think more people should use Wide Guard? More than this 23%.
Because it's early meta. Early meta, no one touches Wide Guard. I mean, that's kind of the truth, though, if you think about it.
Yeah. A lot of people go Hyper Offense, which, Tommy, I'm sure you're super upset about Hyper Offense.
Oh, absolutely devastated.
Tommy, what are you running right now? Because I saw yesterday you were running a Ray Ogre team as well.
Yeah, I've been running Ray Ogre with...
What were you running before Lumineon? Let's go there.
I've been running Ray Ogre with Talonflame. I had Weavile on the team, but that got taken off for a Thundurus yesterday.
Okay.
Amoonguss, as well as Kangaskhan, and... What was that last mon? I'm forgetting one mon. I forget which one it is. But yeah,
Ray,
basically...
Ogre, Amoonguss, Kang, Thundy, Talon. Yeah?
Talon. Is that 6?
That's 6.
That's 6.
Okay.
Okay. So, like, basically, what I've been looking at is, like, I like Ray Ogre as a core very, very much. And from there, I just wanted to make sure I had a way to deal with Smeargle Xerneas. So, I think Kangaskhan... I think Double Mega is very, very good for Ray Ogre because I think there's some matchups where you kind of don't want to bring the Ray. And if you don't bring the Ray, then you also don't bring your Mega. So, like, that becomes really, really bad. And then Kangaskhan just gives you a much safer way to deal with Smeargle just because you can break through the Focus Sash. And then from there, I decided I needed to add either Pharaoh or, like, Pharaoh and Amoonguss both deal with this turn very, very well. The Pharaoh is able to OHKO it. The Amoonguss lets it stay on the field for a few more turns, but I think it's better in more matchups, which is why I decided to go with the Amoonguss instead.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually kind of surprised that you say that, because when you look at Amoonguss in the current meta, I'm actually a little more shy about Amoonguss right now than I was in, say, VGC 15.
Yeah.
How are you avoiding all the flying type moves?
So basically, we're not. We're running a very, very bulky Amoonguss, a physically bulky Amoonguss, so we can actually live some Talonflame stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like Mence, you're not living. It's more the fact that the Amoonguss is going to be there when you're facing down the other stuff. Like the best thing that Amoonguss does for the teams is it threatens Trick Room, so that like you don't even have to bring it. And you see like when you see Salamence, generally you can't bring the Amoonguss, or you have to bring in the back. But just having on the team threatens like teams that have the Trick Room option from setting it up, because I get scared because you do have the Amoonguss in the back. You just come in, you put the Groudon or whatever they have in Trick Room to sleep, and from there you generally lose the game, because Trick Room's losing the game in this format if they don't like use all of their Trick Room turns to the fullest extent. If they don't do that, they generally lose most of their games.
It's actually really interesting to think about. So one thing I do want to ask is, you mentioned that there are times when you don't want to bring Mega Ray, but you want to bring Kang.
Yes.
Now thinking thinking of Ray Ogre against Don Zern, is that one of the matchups where you wouldn't want to bring Rayquaza, but you'd want to bring the Kang? What sort of matches would you want to have Kangaskhan instead of the Rayquaza?
I think the two most common are the two most common teams actually. Against Don Zern, specifically with Smeargle. If they have the Smeargle, then I'm definitely bringing the Kang. If they don't have the Smeargle, though, say if they have a different redirector like a Fairy or a Moongus, then I'm probably bringing the Mega Ray. But if they have Smeargle, I'm probably gonna bring the Ray, but I'm gonna keep it in back and I'm not gonna Mega it just so you have an answer to the Groudon.
Okay.
But yeah, otherwise that's a really good matchup for Kangaskhan. And the other matchup I really really like it in is against Ray Ogre, because against because I've been specifically for what I've been testing. I've been testing Overheat Ray over Draco Meteor. So not having the Dragon move kind of like puts you in a situation where it's like, oh, I don't really have a way to actually deal with the Rayquaza if I bring my own Ray. But like even teams that run Draco Meteor, I think there's still merit to bringing Kang, just because it does hit things like the Kyogre really hard, and then it hits through a lot. Like there's a lot of like random focus dashes, a lot of random like frail mons that will die from a return that just appreciate having like the added power of Kangaskhan and then still being able to bring your Rayquaza if you need to. But I do like Kang in like both of those matches very much. Just the fact that you have to not rely on like Draco Meteor on your Rayquaza, like because I don't have it, so like having the Kang definitely helps there.
So on your Kang, you mentioned return. So are you running Pup Return?
I'm running Pup Return. I think in this format, Power Punch is very very good when you have redirection on your team, and otherwise I think that Power Punch is a very very bad move, mostly because Kangaskhan is not like the last few formats where you can just like Power Punch and the Kangaskhan has a good chance to stay on the field. This format's kind of like, okay, if I Power Up Punch and they have a restricted on the field and it attacks my Kangaskhan, I'm likely dead to the next hit I take, and there's plenty of priority in this format, so yeah, like if I have redirection, I don't mind Pop because then I at least have stuff to protect myself later.
Not bad. All right, Will, you mentioned Scissor. And I want to talk about Scissor because everybody knows I love Scissor. And if you don't, now you do. So, Will, talk to me about Scissor. What are you doing with it? Why are you doing it?
It helps with your Smeargle matchup first and foremost.
Okay.
Because you got a nice lumber right there.
Okay. So you're running Lumberry on it, which is actually the #1 item, followed not even closely by Scissorite. I'm actually surprised to see that Life Orb's at 13%. That's really unusual. And what nature are you running on yours?
Adamant.
Okay. I assume Technician. There's actually people on the ladder using Light Metal Scissor. Good job, guys. I'm not sure why you wasted the time to get a hidden ability Scissor, but good job. All right, and what moves are you running on your Scissor right now?
Swords Bug Bite Protect, if I believe I'm right. Yeah, I am right.
So no Feint on yours?
I would love Feint, but, you know, Swords Dance is the thing, and you kind of want... It's always nice to, like, you know, let that Geomancy set up, and you set up a Swords Dance, and then it protects, and then you just either attack the other slot or set up another Swords Dance. Because they're switching out, or Bug Bite the other slot.
So, well, one thing that I remember us talking about earlier was that because of the part of the reason why you're running Swords Dance in particular, which I get a little hesitant around setting up too much in any doubles format. Because if you, like, it's real easy to get too greedy in doubles because you get overconfident and you're like, okay, I'm going to just set up this one Dragon Dance, this one. And then you got it on a Protect, and you're like, okay. Well, I thought I was going to get hit last turn, so since I didn't get hit last turn because he protected, I'm going to just set up this Dragon Dance one more time. No, and then they double in, and then you're dead.
But see, the whole thing is, maybe it's because I watch Tommy too damn much play.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it's cool. It's just a matter of like knowing when enough is enough.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you can't. I'm not going to sit. I'm not going to be the guy that sits there like, oh, I got two swords dance. Like I got a swords dance set up. Let me set up another one. No, because that's a bad idea. Like, yeah, okay, hey, they brought a fucking Talonflame on the field. Well, that's a great idea. Let me no. Like, you just go for the kill, or you just try to like get some really good chip damage off.
Yeah. And one of the things that talking to Will, part of the reason why Swords Dance was kind of necessary on his scissor, partially because he doesn't have the Life Orb. So I agree with running Swords Dance if you're not running Life Orb. And now I got something in my eye, so we're going to rub that out for a little while.
Yeah.
Whoa.
We're going to rub that out real quick.
There we go. Had to throw that one in there. Anyway, running Swords Dance on a non-Life Orb scissor I'm pretty okay with.
Hold on. Do you know there's somebody that's rated 1945 on fucking special ladder?
Yeah, man. There's people that are pretty high up.
Holy shit.
We've had this ladder for a couple weeks now.
Yeah, I know. I just didn't expect to face one right now.
Correct.
I'm trying to make Gramble work.
It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
It's not.
Are you playing the games to get the Gramble into the threshold so it gets on a PGL?
Yeah. Got to get those 10 matches in so that Gramble... But you have to bring Granble. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
You have to bring Granble. Any matches that you don't bring Granble to, they don't count.
Nope.
Wait, let's see if anybody else has Luminion on PGL.
Here on the Entry Hazard podcast, we talk about plushes and dumb Pokemon.
Hey, we could talk about banning Dark Void. That would be great.
We'll talk about that in a second. Okay, Luminion. If
Looks
I
like
can
I got
spell.
one other person with me.
There you go. Yeah. Soak, Tailwind, Icy Wind, Protect, Safeguard, Swagger. Which one's your set? Are you running the Soak, Tailwind?
Yeah, I'm running
Wait.
Soak Tailwind, but not Icy Wind.
Oh, then you're the 10%. That other person has put in so many more battles than you.
I'm kind of confused. Wait, I run
Okay.
Ice Beam. I'm not on the threshold.
Nope.
Wow.
Are you running Safeguard, Swagger?
I was running Safeguard before, but not Swagger.
Oh, you're not in there.
Yo, I had Ice Beam because Ice Beam was able to KO Salamence, which Zekrom has problems with sometimes.
Oh, man. So this is... Oh, man, that's so funny. And the Shedinja. I like Shedinja.
Oh yeah.
I don't
yeah,
like
so-
that Toxic is a thing for Shedinja. That's not okay. I
That
like
makes
Willow.
sense. That's next to the Luminion, though. They're throwing the Soak out on the Sid Ninja.
Oh, man. Shedinja. Alright. Shady wants me to see how many battles the top players have. Wow, that's actually a lot. So number one in the world, Akaba, 1968, 277 wins and 142 losses. It's like 400 matches, man.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a
I don't
lot.
think I've hit 100 yet.
That is a lot. I think I'm just below 100. And then you look at Rika. Rika has under 100. And is number 2 in the world. Number 2 in the world, under 100 matches. What are you doing, Rika? What team are you using?
It's a pretty good win-loss, 69-27.
Right? I want to see your profile, though. To Rika's page. Let me see if I can find a... Sometimes if you can look through if they don't have their profile set to private, which if you guys have your profile set to private, that's fine, but it annoys the hell out of me when I'm trying to view some of your battles. Drives me crazy. I want to see what the top level players are using.
Well, that's not fair. Dude, look at number 3 in the world. Look at their matches played.
Oh, man. 60 matches? How do you be number 3 in the world with 60 matches?
Very carefully.
Clearly. Wow.
It's really rare those auto count.
They're all Ray Rizzo. All the Japanese alts are all Ray Rizzo.
Yeah.
Every single one. Just Ray. Oh, there we go. Thank you for not having...
Come
All
on,
right.
man. Oh no, he has stock in fucking Pokemon.
Yo, he made us think that he's not actually playing, but that's really all he's been doing.
Just
Yeah.
everything. All right. Do you have any of these battles saved at all? The thing that I don't like about PGL is that if you look through people's recent match records, I think you both have to save the battle for it to be uploaded to PGL so that other people can watch it.
No, no. I only know this because, like, when I was doing my international challenge,
Uh-huh.
I saved none of my matches, and I was like, oh god, I wonder if they saved any. So what was going on? I started picking out a few here and there that people are saving for me.
Oh, hey. This person, you actually played them. The number 4 in the world. You played and beat them.
Solid.
There
We
you
take
go.
those.
You played and beat them. Let me look through that. When was that? So you are one of their, 12 losses. How's that make you feel in life?
Pretty good. What's their little tag thing? Name?
It's in Japanese, so who
Okay.
knows?
Lovely.
I'm trying to find you again. But neither one of you saved it, so who knows? But apparently it was on the 24th of January. And they lost. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Kaeru. I don't know. Number 4 in the world on Special Ladder.
Okay.
Kaeru. Perfect. God. Date, how many battles does Date have? Date has almost 200. Avos has 160. Let's see. Will, how many do you have?
A lot.
Just over 100. It's not bad. How do I have more battles than you, Will? You're always on Battle Spot.
Am I though? Am I really?
Yeah. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. All right, let's talk tournament stuff. Will, how did you do with Granville?
I did shitty with it. You lost all 3 matches I brought it to. I mean, like, seriously, like, what the hell is the Granville going to do to anything? I just thought it'd be funny, and I worked with it, and whatever. It got me top 4, got me the 3 slot. I went 3-1. I think it's like, what I got working with for me.
Will, you should know by now, Pokemon isn't fun.
We don't play Pokemon because it's fun.
game.
We don't play Pokemon because it's fun. We play it because it's hardcore.
Yes.
Like parkour.
Yes,
Yes.
that's that black girlfriend that I have making me go yes.
Slay girl slay. I don't know. Whatever.
But no, I don't know. Like maybe it's because I was outside the area. I was like really surprised I didn't see anything like Dark Void, which was kind of nice.
Yeah.
I got to see a lot of stupid shit like Lucario with Blaze Kick in the rain.
Lucario with Blaze Kick.
In
How
the
did that
rain.
go? Let me look up Lucario real quick. Because I think there is room for Lucario in this meta.
Do you?
I think there is.
How do you?
you agree? Will, I don't think you agree.
I mean, I got a Mega Lucario decided to like dunk my ogre yesterday with a low kick, like from full. So that was pretty funny.
God, I wonder what the damage calc is on Groudon, because I feel like that would probably be pretty good.
All around like 75% if I had to take a guess.
Groudon, let's do Primal, let's do Uber Support. That's how it's spelled. Uber the Force Awakens. Brilliant name. I love it. Jolly seems about right. Primal Groudon, this is a bulky Groudon. Let's look at low kick, not close combat. But it should be about the same. Low kick to a full bulk Groudon. is 30 to
Ew,
40%.
Ew.
With no bulk invested and no defense invested, you're going to do 40 to 50. I mean, that's not bad.
It's just not good.
It doesn't
Also
do a
not
KO. It's bad.
And then, but that was also, I don't remember what nature they had it in, but it was a defensive nature. So if we get rid of the defensive nature, get rid of any of the bulk, now we are at low kick doing 45 to 54%.
Just throw the 0 HP IV on it if we're going that far.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
0 HP for. There
Zero
you go.
defense, 0 HP.
0 defense. Oh, you want a 0 in defense and HP? All right. If we got a 0 IV in both HP and defense, we can 2-co.
Okay, what Lucario is this?
This is a jolly adaptability. Let's
All right,
do
run
adamant.
Run Adamant, throw Helping Hand on there.
Helping hand. In the best of scenarios, low kick with helping hand on an adamant Mega Lucario with adaptability against a 0 HP, 0 IV in HP, 0 defense in 0 IV in defense Primal Groudon. Low kick does 89.6 to 105.8%.
So we have the roll. That's the important part. All we have to do is get the roll.
37.5% chance to OHKO.
That's solid. 1 in 3. I'll take that.
Do you want to know what a no attack invested Primal Groudon? Now this is at level 100, so level 50 it'll actually do more damage. Because low kick at that point is now a 56.3% chance to OHKO. Would you like to know how much Precipice Blades uninvested does to you?
I'm going to be really, really sad when you tell me. But go ahead.
In doubles, 169.6 to 200%. Guaranteed OHKO. With no investment. Here, let me throw in a 0 IV in that attack. It's 154 to 183%. Still a guaranteed OHKO. Great.
What do you mean an 85% chance to OHKO?
Low kick. Low kick had a 56.
No. What are we talking? Precipice Blades?
Yeah.
So yeah, an 85% chance to OHKO.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You're right. Oh, God. 85% chance to OHKO. Great. We got the roll. That's all we needed, right?
Yeah, we got our roll. They missed their roll. We're fine.
Hey. So we got the world's worst Groudon on the field. With a naive nature.
Always use perfect Pokemon, right? You know, it is kind of funny, though, when you think about it, because low kick... Oh, let's bring that down to 50. 50. Low kick is a guaranteed OHKO from Adamant. And let's check it with Jolly. Jolly, too. Jolly's a guaranteed OHKO on Primal Kyogre. That's actually a pretty good answer to Primal Kyogre. Because you're going to outspeed. You've got the adaptability.
The only problem with that is they speed tie on turn 1, so you have to make sure that, like, if they have speed control, you have an answer to their speed control as well.
Yeah.
So setting up something like Tailwind next to Lucario might work. Might be okay.
But, I mean, you would basically have to run a second Mega. Because there's no way you'd be able to bring it against Groudon. There's no way.
No, you can. You can. You run HP Water Lucario. It's got like a pretty high special attack.
It does.
So instead of Jolly, you're running Naive now?
Yes.
Alright.
Or even minus defense, because we're not living P-Blades.
Hidden Power Water. So are you now running Ray Ogre and
We're in some sort of Lucario with a Kyogre, yes. Probably Ray.
Ray Ogre Luke and HP Water Oh god. You know,
It's
one
just the
thing that I
upgrade-
don't like about the damage calc right now is that it always keeps whatever primal weather is up. You
Yes.
can't deselect that. Like, listen, I realize that that Pokemon is out on the field, but sometimes I'm in doubles, and I don't have to have that.
You used to change the ability.
Maybe I should. That's a good. That's a
Yeah,
good idea.
change Groudon to
Download.
no, change it to Primal Ocean thing.
Primordial Sea.
That one, yeah.
There we go. All right, Primordial Sea. And Lucario, we're going to make you naive. And we're going to get rid of close combat. We're going to put hidden power water.
Solid.
Oh, God. I actually might have a hidden power water Ditto if we need to borrow one.
Oh God.
Oh, you're going to be disappointed, though.
No, don't.
Oh, no, hold on. That's max special defense. Hold on.
Okay. Show me 156252.
Let's see. With 252 in HP.
Yes.
252 in HP. Under heavy rain.
Okay.
HP water.
Yeah.
121 to 144.9% with no investment from a naive Lucario. It was Mega Lucario, naive, guaranteed.
Hey.
Okay. Now, if we didn't have the rain, you're not looking at an Oko at all.
That's fine. That's why we have a Kyogre on this team. Not even to hit water moves, just to give us rain.
Just to give us rain. To get the roll, you would need 28 invested in your special attack. And it's a 6.3% chance to Oko. Or it's like 13%-ish if you include the chance to crit. Right?
Oh my God.
Right? Oh, hold on. That's Helping Hand.
Wait, the helping hand hit HP water?
Uh-huh. That was still Helping Handed.
No,
Oh,
no.
God. Oh, God.
Tell me we still Oko.
We don't. We don't. Oh, no.
In the rain?
Nope. Nope. No. Oh, God. This is such a bad idea. Hidden Power Water, 83 to 98.5%.
You kidding me?
That's so bad. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm being told that I'm not using a Mega Lucario. That may be Mega Lucario. Hold on. Uber, all out physical attacker. That might change things. Hold on.
Okay.
We're gonna get there. Hidden. I'm so good at damage calc. If you can't tell. Okay. Ooh. Okay. It's still a roll. HP water, 25% chance to Oko. With no investment.
Alright, so here's the real question.
But that
then.
is jolly. Alright, we gotta change that over too. Naive. Naive HP water, 87.5% chance to Oko in the rain.
Oh, Golden VGC just won his PC, or well, no, wait. No, he won it yesterday. His regional. I'm not sure what regional that was, but good for him.
Alright, if you invest 52 into special attack on a naive Mega Lucario in the rain, you can Oko a Primal Groudon.
I dig it. That
There you
makes me
go.
question. Wait, it has less special attack than Metagross. How did the Metagross KO you yesterday then? Are you 4 HP?
I should be almost max HP on that Groudon. I have no idea how that Metagross Oko'd in the rain.
I want to see this roll then. Oh
We
my
gotta
God.
see Mega Metagross Uber X-Wing. Let's go level 50 because it had hidden power water. Maybe it was modest, man.
It needs the investment.
It had to be modest.
Oh my god.
He was running modest Mega Metagross to guarantee an Oko, unless it was just a massive roll.
He started Meteor Mashing you, right? So it was mixed at least, right?
Yeah. That had to be a roll.
That's gross.
But I mean, that's assuming that my Mega Metagross is max HP, which I got 407. I'm looking at it now, just to see. Yeah, mine is HP and attack. HP and attack, 252. HP and attack. Yeah. Any O code. That's so bad. Zero special attack, Mega Lucario, hidden power water, in the rain, 87.5. I don't know how you're getting those. FSU, whatever. We're gonna Mega Lucario.
Welcome to the Entry Hazard podcast, where we talk.
Where we do damage calcs on really stupid things. It's great.
All of my best ideas are born in damage calcs. Damage calcs or VCoon, one of the two.
Do. That's jolly, yeah. It's more naive. 116. How are you getting 116? I got heavy rain. FSU fan has his setup with zero special attack, Mega Lucario, hidden power water versus 0 HP. That's why. Okay. Yeah. All right, we're good. I was like 0 HP. All right. So yeah, that's our new tech. Is Mega Lucario in the rain
With HP water.
with
Lovely.
HP water and low kick. But I mean, you've got a pretty good chance of OHKOing almost every Pidon in the rain. Like, you're almost 90% chance to OHKO with HP water, and he's only got an 85% chance of OHKOing you. It's pretty good. And especially since you outspeed, you're doing okay. Think about it. But I will say I have no idea what you would do. Like, you're just going to run Bullet Punch to deal with Zern?
No, you don't know the Lucario tech?
No Iron Tails. No Iron Tails. Please don't tell me Iron Tail. Oh, you're going to say Iron Tail.
Yeah.
The tailless Iron Tail?
I'd rather KO it 75% of the time than KO it and then get blown up by a Moonblast.
Hey, at least Lucario gets faint, though. That'd be a good place to faint. That'd be nice. Yeah. I mean, if you did faint Bullet Punch, low kick, HP Ice.
HP Water.
Yeah, HP Water. Sorry. So he's the HP Ice. HP Water. That'd be nuts.
I think we have something that we can put over Faint. I gotta see if it gets it, if I'm correct.
Protect.
No, it doesn't get it. I was gonna say we should probably run Double Kick for Smeargle, but it doesn't get Double Kick, and that makes me very upset.
I don't see how Lucario's tail works for Iron Tail at all. That doesn't make sense to me.
I just don't understand how it gets that, but doesn't get Iron Head.
Right? Like, come on. God, this is terrible. So do you guys want to talk about Dark Void real quick?
Yeah,
Let's
sure.
get that out of the way. We'll do that, and then we'll take a real quick break, and then we'll wind down with our third part. Lucario. Lucario, so weird. At least Lucario is used. Riolu is used more often than Granbull will. Riolu. How does that make you feel? Hippowdon, with a stealth rocking Hippowdon, is used more often than Granbull. Do you want to know what it was used with, Will? Tyrantrum. Tyrantrum is used more often than Granbull. There's actually multiple people using Tyrantrum on BattleSpot. Buddy, Will, you need some help there, man.
You know, I never liked you guys anyway.
All right, let's talk about Smeargle. Smeargle. Particularly Dark Void. This is an ongoing debate that's been in a lot of Pokemon talk. There's fields of people that are arguing against banning Dark Void. There's fields of people that are arguing for the ban of Dark Void. And some of the people that are against the ban of Dark Void, and I'm going to argue for them today, not because I agree with them, but because I think somebody needs to be the voice of them. Some of the people that are arguing for keeping Dark Void is that there's not a precedent of banning moves in the middle of a meta. And I think they might be right there. Pokemon doesn't really have a whole lot of precedent of changing things in the middle of a metagame.
Which I could argue to a small extent, because those who don't know, while I play VGC, on the side I did play a little bit of TCG, and the card game, there was no precedent for banning cards mid like format either, up until very, very recently. They released a card called, Forest of Giant Plants, and basically what it did is it made a combo that was really, really broken, so they had to ban a card mid-format just because the games would end before one person would get a chance to react, so like it just made a very, very unhealthy format. I think that's kind of where we're heading in VGC. We're not to the same extent as broken as that was, but it is bad enough to call for action, I think. But there is a very small precedent for it. It's very, very recently. I think it happened.
It happened last season with Shift Tree, didn't it?
It only happened like a few months ago. Yeah, I think it was last year's spring regionals.
Yeah, I could have swore Shift Tree was banned at one point.
Yeah, it was Shift Tree. It was last year's spring regionals, I believe. Oh no, and that and Trump Card.
So, what this says is each player's grass Pokemon can evolve during his or her first turn or the turn he or she plays those Pokemon.
Yes.
And it's a stadium card.
Yes. Now look at it's Shift Tree from Next Destinies is the card that they paired with it to make it broken.
Shift Tree banned from expanded format. I don't know if this is Next Destinies because it's a dark type.
Yes. So what it is you could play.
Everything else was okay.
Yeah, it's a grass type Nuzleaf, and then
Gotcha.
since it's a grass type Nuzleaf, you can still evolve into the Shift Tree.
That makes sense. I forget that they changed some of the types.
Yeah.
In the middle of TCG, never really made a whole lot of sense to me. So you've got the ability Giant Fan. When you play this Pokemon from your hand, evolve one of your Pokemon. You may flip a coin. If heads, choose one of your opponent's Pokemon. Your opponent shuffles that Pokemon and all cards attached to it into his or her deck. And then it's got Whirlwind for 3 energies, 2 dark, 1 colorless. Your opponent switches the defending Pokemon with one of his or her benched Pokemon. And then retreat cost of 1, which is actually really cheap for something that powerful. Like, 60 damage on Whirlwind isn't a whole lot, but being able to switch your opponent's Pokemon at will, and then having 130 HP, which is not bad.
So the only thing that matters on this card is the ability. Nothing else on the card matters. What the ability would do is, if you were to go first, you'd be able to, since one of the win conditions in Pokemon is if you have no Pokemon left on your field, you lose the game. So what they'd do is they'd play down their Forest of Giant Plants and just start like burning through their deck, because normally you have to like conserve your cards so you don't like run out of resources throughout the game, but if you win on turn 1 you can just burn through your deck like that.
Right.
So you just like play down the Shift Trees, flip coins until every card in every Pokemon in their field is shuffled back into their deck and they lose the game. And with that happening, like they'd be able to win the game without their opponent even getting a turn.
Yeah. And so I can see why. I mean, this had to be banned. That.
Yes.
And what was it? There was
Trump card is the other one.
Yeah. What's his face's trump card? Why can't I think of his name? He's the redhead
Lysander.
guy. Yeah, Lysander's trump card.
I think that situation's a little bit closer to what we have now because Lysander's trump card didn't necessarily have a extremely like broken combo that absolutely broke the game. It was more the fact that it was just so overpowered that it made it basically allows you to burn through your deck without any consequences, and it made for a very, very unhealthy format, which is very much what I think Smeargle is kind of doing right now.
Mhm.
It's something that's in the format that every team has to prepare for, whereas every deck had to like prepare for fast decks because of Lysander's trump card,
Mhm.
and it makes for a very unhealthy format in both games.
Yeah. And Lysander, I feel like he was banned in the middle of a format. Like, it was at the end. They announced it after this set of regionals. Then we're gonna have a cutoff, and then Lysander's trump card is just gone.
Yep.
And I liked the way that they did that because basically everybody's built up these decks and they've been playtesting them over and over to make sure that they account for certain things, and so they put a date on it instead of like, let's say NASCAR or basketball. Well, basketball they usually do it at the end of the season, but NASCAR they'll do it like at the end of the week. So when everybody's preparing for the next week, they're like, hey, listen, you guys kind of did some shady shit. So we're going to make restrictions on your fuel lines now. We had restrictions on your fuel tank, but then you had like 30 feet of fuel line. That's kind of shady. So now you only get 6 feet of fuel line or whatever. That's actually a thing that happened in NASCAR. So you can look that one up. They restricted the length of fuel line because somebody decided that they wanted to put way more fuel line than they were supposed to. NASCAR fun fact. I used to be a big fan of racing. Anyway, and so, like, instead of abruptly doing it, like, hey, I know that you guys have PCs and regionals and everything going on, like, 2 days from now, this is now banned, but they gave everybody a couple weeks, a couple months to get everything figured out. And I think that would probably be a good way to do it with Smeargle as well, if they decided to do it. I mean, we see that Smeargle is in the top 10 of usage. It's in the top usage with one of the top sets of teams with that Kangdon Zern. It's number 6 in usage with Groudon. So, I mean, number 8 overall, number 6 with Groudon. When you look at Xerneas in particular, it's number 4 in usage with Xerneas. So anytime somebody brought a Xerneas to battle, Smeargle was usually in the back. So if you see a team that has Xerneas, it probably has a Smeargle in the back if it was on the team preview. Because, I mean, you look at it, and you can only have 4 Pokemon there, so Groudon, Kang, Talonflame, those are the 3 that are probably paired with it. But you're probably going to have a Smeargle swapped into any of those slots if they didn't bring one.
Yep.
Probably in the Talonflame spot. But, like, Dark Void. Dark Void is basically... I mean, you would think that you'd be able to block it with Wide Guard because it hits both sides, but you can't. Taunting it sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. But one of the big problems that we have with that in the format is that, and I'm arguing against Smeargle now, so I'm not doing a great job of defending Smeargle, like I said I was going to. But, I mean, when you look at it, there's this over-centralization of Smeargle with just using Dark Void spam. And I think there's still a place for Smeargle in the meta, even if we get rid of Dark Void. I think that Dark Void makes the game less enjoyable to watch, less enjoyable to play, and over-centralizes other teams that don't carry Smeargle to either carry Smeargle or have 2 or 3 different Pokemon that have to counter Smeargle. You know? But... yeah. And Shady, Crafty Shield, Klefki works, but if somebody's running Snatch and Smeargle, then you're still kind of screwed.
Or Faint.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, what do you guys think would happen to Smeargle if Dark Void was eliminated? Do you think that Smeargle would still be used? Was Smeargle still used in VGC in 13? Because I know Dark Void and what was it, Skydrop?
Skydrop were both banned. Like,
And Skydrop was just broken because the move was bugged, but
mhm.
Dark Void was banned because it was on a Pokemon that was banned. So, I mean, was Smeargle still used in VGC 13?
Not really. I think when you look at it, if it loses Dark Void,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Smeargle's necessarily bad, so to say, but it's more the fact that the other redirectors, I think, immediately become better than it. I know Fake Out plus Follow Me seems very, very strong, but it's something that can be played around because you can only Fake Out on the first turn. It's pretty obvious, and you can
Right.
at least there's a lot faster Fake Out in the format than Smeargle, so then you can stop it that way too. Um, I think that it would be it wouldn't be bad, so to say. It's just like there's so many better redirectors at that point. Like I'd much rather use something like a Moonkiss or a Togekiss or something like that.
Yeah.
I think the other part of the thing is that like you look at Smeargle and you say like Dark Void spam, and I think that a lot of like the players that have been winning regionals with it
Mm-hmm.
have been using it more the fact that it's like, okay, I have something that can hit Fake Out and Follow Me.
Right.
But if they ever, on any given turn of the game, if they ever disrespect the fact that I have a Smeargle on the field, I can hit Dark Void and potentially just win the game right there if both things go to sleep.
Yeah.
And then as well as the fact that it's one thing to stop Dark Void from, or stop Smeargle from doing its thing. It's another thing to stop Smeargle from doing whatever it wants to do, but still letting Xerneas go off a Geomancy.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it's that's the other thing. We have something so threatening in the format like Xerneas that it makes it kind of useless. Like, okay, I can stop the Smeargle, but now the Xerneas is set up, and what do I do to that? And you have to take another turn to set that up. And if you don't have something like Prankster or a really really strong switch in like Ferrothorn, like you don't have many answers to it. I think that's why it's really, really unhealthy right now.
I mean, at that point, it's like, hey, let's run fucking counter teams and run like Haze Murkrow. Like I know that some Tommy like ran in something, but
14, yeah.
yeah, but, like I'm not trying to be like a dick about it either. It's like at that point, it's like that's where originality should be kicking in and be like, why can't I build around this? That's my only argument for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like, why can't we have like stupidity in the meta still? Because if you look back at like years past, a la 2010, there was a lot of cool fucking teams.
Yeah.
Now it's like on Battle Spot, A Big Six, A Big Six, A Big Six, Ray Ogre, Big Six, and something weird that gets bopped. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it just feels like creativity has gone downhill, and they said, "Fuck it, we're gonna throw, a bunch of good stuff and call it a day." And that's a fine team building strategy, but at the end of the day, it's the same crap, and it's kind of boring.
So here's my question: If you were to look forward at, let's say, VGC 2017, which I don't really want to do because I like this format right now. I think VGC 2016 is pretty interesting, but there's a lot of complaints about over-centralization of meta. And I think part of that has to do with some of the speed creeping, some of the power creeping that's been happening when Pokemon releases. Oh, look at our new Megas! Oh, look at our new Primals! What does Pokemon Company International do with their rule set that changes it and brings it back to something that's more like, 2013 or 2014, where everybody kind of views 2013 and 2014 as kind of the heyday of originality? I look at 2013 and all I think of is Bisharp Cresselia, but I didn't play in 2013, so I don't know. But I think of Genie's Cresselia and Bisharp kind of dominating. And then when I look at 2014, I think of Smeargle Kang, and those two were some of the bigger threats. So there were Talonflames everywhere, there were Kangaskhans everywhere in 2014. Salamence, which was non-mega at the time, there were a lot of Choice Scarf. I was actually running Choice Specs because I was running an HP Flying Salamence. But there was a lot of Intimidate going on. Mega Manectric was viable back then. We saw But everybody looks at what Worlds was like in 2014, and they're like, oh, look how creative this was. Is Worlds even a good barometer? Is that a good litmus test for how creative you can be in a format? Or is that just like a small tide pool of some of the best players kind of counter gaming each other, counter meta on each other? Like, do we want to balance for Worlds, or do we want to balance for Battle Spot Ladder? What do you balance for if you're in format rules? What are you trying to balance for?
Like,
where do you want to have more fun?
I think like if you're looking at stuff like 2014 and 2013, and you're looking at the Worlds format and how like different they were from like the rest of the year, I think that just goes to show that like when you have the best the best caliber players playing in a tournament, like that's when the most like progression in a format happens. When everybody's seeing like like going into Worlds, every one of those players that's playing in Worlds knows what's good and what they have to beat, and that's when the most progression happens. Because you see that, I think by far every part of the year where the format's probably like not the most fun to play with, but the best part of the format is probably right after Worlds, because that's when all of the Worlds teams get revealed, and they're so progressive compared to what was going on the 6 to 9 months beforehand.
Right.
And now they're being introduced to a wider group of people, so that now you see like all these more like progressed teams at Worlds. That's why like 14 is a very, very good example of this, because we had Kangaskhan dominate every single tournament from Winter Regionals up through Nationals. Worlds, Kangaskhan didn't finish higher than 14th, I don't think. 14th or 12th. It was Yoshi with Kangaskhan. That was the highest that Kangaskhan finished at Worlds that year. And that's just because everybody knew what they had to prepare for, and it was easily prepared for, and they showed how progressive that format can. Like, after Worlds, when we were still playing that format and going into the 14.5 format with the move tutors, like, Mawile was like by far the biggest mega used, and most teams had Mawile just for the fact that it's like it phased Kang completely out of the format, and as long as like we were keep using that, like Kang would still like be bad, and there's no reason to use Kang. But I do think that if we had more time to play something like 14, I think the meta would have like kept progressing. I think that meta actually had room to grow still.
Yeah, because I mean, 14.5 toward what was it? Toward the end after Worlds, when we had the move tutors from Oris available, because then we got the some of the hyper voices, and that was insane. And you actually are completely correct that Kang was only as high as 14. Which I'm actually really, really impressed with your overall knowledge. Nicely done, Tommy.
Thank you.
But, I mean, one of the things that I look at when I'm thinking about formats, the more restricted you get with your rules, the fewer options people have, the more creativity they tend to have, which I think is completely counterintuitive. Okay, when we went from 2014, we were Kalos decks only. If it wasn't in the Kalos decks, you couldn't have it. Even if you could catch it in Friend Safari, it didn't matter. You couldn't have it. So we ended up, and obviously I'm using limited amount of data to prove my point here, of just 1 year, 1 season, and one tournament, which is Worlds. But when you have limited scope that you need to zoom in on, people start picking through more and more with a fine-tooth comb. Whereas when you've got a lot of options, like how many restaurants do you have available to you in your nearby area? Hundreds? How many do you go to? 2? You've got too many options. So you just pick the best, and you make slight deviations off of that. Okay, well, I wanted Burger King, who's not a sponsor. I wanted Burger King today, but all right. I guess I don't really want to go to Burger King because I want something else. Let me try Wendy's. Wendy's is not a huge deviation. And so you look at VGC 15, when we went from 14, which had this many Pokemon, and then we went to 15, which had everything, and now we're going to 16, which has everything else. You know, you've got so many options now that it's really hard to kind of sort through and sift through, and so you get I think that you get a little bit less creativity just because you've got way too many options. It's not that there's not stuff that's viable outside of Big Six and everything else, but like when we start looking through this, the two main archetypes that we're looking at, we've got Kangzern Dawn and Ray Ogre. Those are the two main archetypes that we're looking at. But we've all discussed how Dialga's one of the best Trick Room setters. We still have Palkia, which Palkia does really good. Will and I ran Assault Vest Palkia, and maybe Will and I just struggled to use it well enough because we didn't support it well enough. But Palkia with Assault Vest Timid outspeeds all the primals and takes a lot of shots. It's a bulky Pokemon, and actually, sadly enough, better than Dialga now. I mean, we've got options with Reshiram and Zekrom. Reshiram is probably less viable, but you've got Kyurem White, which is amazing. Kyurem White is fantastic. I love Kyurem White. But you've got all these archetypes of Pokemon and teams, and like you could build entire teams around Giratina, and Giratina is an amazing Pokemon and super bulky. But I think that because we've got way too many options, I mean, it's like, how many Pokemon do we have available right now? 700 that we can choose from?
Pretty much, yeah.
Like, outside of the, 13 or so Pokemon that you can't have because they're event only, and then the 2 Pokemon that aren't released yet? No, because we got Hoopa. So it would be 721 minus 1 for Volcanion, so you've got 720. Minus 13, so you've got over 700 Pokemon now that you can use. It's just too many to handle. And I think that tends to over-centralize things. So, I don't know.
I don't think it is, though. I think the whole idea is the fact that it becomes more centralized just because you got the Smeargle, and you got the Xerneas, and you got the Geomancy, and you got the Dark Void and the Fake Out, and you sit there, you smile, you nod, and unless you're sitting there, like, you pretty much have to find a hard counter for that situation, because we're going to see that situation, a crap ton, like, come damn near every tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And if you let that set up, it's pretty much game over.
Yeah. So, one thing we were discussing last night was changing some things about Pokemon, like Primal Weather. One of the things that was really disappointing to all three of us last night was the fact that because of Primal Weather, things like Abomasnow, things like Tyranitar, things like Charizard, well, Charizard less so because you've got Primal Weather, which helps out. But you can't have the same Weather Wars. You get 3 choices of weather. You either get wind, rain, or sun. I mean, how do we get weather back? I mean, do we have to eliminate primals?
Yeah, it's the only way. I think primals were a mistake just for that aspect. 2010 was like such a crazy format. There was great weather wars in that format. A lot of really cool things going on, and then they took away, like, now you're taking away 2 weathers as a whole, and you're down to just the 3 primals. And I know that it's like, I don't know, they're completely over-centralized. Like, even if the weathers weren't like primal weather, I still think they'd still see as much play as they're seeing. Obviously, it wouldn't be nearly as good without their primal weathers, but I still think they'd be seeing play, and they wouldn't be as good.
Mm-hmm.
No, but you'll have a lot more creativity too, though, in that situation. Just because, like, it's not going to like I don't know, something about it in Assault Vest Groudon kind of like just like is interesting to me paired up with like a T-Tar. Like how, like, what the hell is that Kyogre going to do after like the sand set the fuck up? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he's around, he has an AV, and he got the boost. Or that doesn't work for ground, does it?
No, it doesn't. It's only rock.
Rock, yeah. But shit, even at that point though, you still got fucking T-Tar. And what the hell's a T-Tar? Like, T-Tar's going to hurt the hell out of Kyogre.
Yeah. But I mean, now are we thinking about, like, would you eliminate primals completely, just ban Red Orb, ban Blue Orb, so you can have Weather Wars back? I mean, it'd be kind of like banning the whatever orbs that the Latiats get.
Soldew?
Yeah, Soldew.
Like,
So, I mean, if you ban Red Orb, you ban Blue Orb, ban Soldew, and ban Dark Void, do you... that feels like a long ban list now. Compared to normal years of VGC, that feels like a long ban list. But do you think that that brings the format back to kind of normal? Or do you think that now Don Ogre would struggle against something with the power of Mega Ray? I mean... how
Like,
do you...
basically, I think that Red and Blue Orb were mistakes, but I'm not gonna call them bad for the format. Like, they're to the point where I wish they weren't in the format,
Right.
but I'm fine with them being in the format, and I think that they should be in the format. As much as I'd like to see the other weathers, I think that if you take away that, then we're just trying to make it 2010, which it's not. It's 2016 now. We have new mechanics, and we're gonna showcase them, and they're not so restricting. I mean, you're restricting teams from using a few extra Pokemon. So you can't use Abomasnow, you can't use Excadrill, you can't use
Right.
T-Tar.
So
There's
Japan Sand is gone, but
there's a few things here and there that you can't use just because Groudon and Kyogre in the format and they're better. And that's kind of what I wanted to touch on really quickly because you were talking about the whole 700 Pokemon in the format is too many to choose from
Right.
thing. It was more like I think it's more the fact that when you have 700 Pokemon, there are some good ones and there's some like bad ones and there's the intermediate tier.
right.
I think the good ones are so much better now than than everything else in the format that it makes everything else less and less viable. And as the better that the good things become, the harder it is to use like the lesser things. Like Kangaskhan would be like, okay, it's here, and you can't use a certain amount of things, mostly like frail things that get blown up by Kangaskhan, and that's fine. Now you add in primals, and now you have things that are like the primals are so bulky. They have the weather, and like it restricts even more of those 700, and you get down to like those lower ranks, and like I think that it just comes down to them being way too strong for everything to have a chance to compete. But I still like that being said, I still think they're good for the format. I think that's what like makes the format change. That's what makes this format different from years in past. That you're gonna see different things be good, but the things that are good right now are always going to be like changing now, like with the format and with the rules. And I think that's good for the format as we go forward.
So, I mean, is part of some of the issue that the Pokemon community, because there are a lot of people outcrying for changes to the format already. I mean, is that partially just because we like to complain? Or is some of it like dreaming of years past where we liked 2010 and we're trying to get back to 2010? And
I'm gonna quote Angel right here because Angel had a brilliant quote that I think that completely sums up the Pokemon community as a whole. The worst format is always the format that we're currently in, because we're always gonna complain about the format that we're currently playing in, but I think you have to look at it and say whether or not it's really just a bad format or if it's just that we have to figure out ways to deal with things. I think that Dark Void makes it a bad format. I think that besides that, though, like, it's just growing pains. We have to adjust. We're going to have to keep learning and getting better at this format, and eventually we're going to have progressions in the format and things will change. But I think as far as Dark Void goes, that's what makes it a bad format, where everything else is kind of just like growing pains, getting used to everything.
I think that's pretty reasonable. I think we've been going for probably a little over half an hour now. I'd like to take a real quick break, and then we can get back to some more talking about competitive stuff, and then we'll wrap up. One thing I do want to talk about, because Tommy, Will just said not long ago that you were planning on going to the St. Louis, and since I'm planning on going to that, I'd like to talk about that, because last year St. Louis was kind of an early test of what 2015 was going to be like, and we talked about that a little bit yesterday, so I'd like to touch on that today. So we're just going to take a real quick break, if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah, I gotta pee. I'm old.
Okay. All right. So let's crank the music for a minute, and we'll be right back in about 5 minutes. All right.